square loop and it is connected with a battery. From battery, current I flows in this direction and I leaves. Okay, resistance per unit length, resistance per unit length is lambda. Okay, so now we need to find the magnetic field at the center. Find magnetic field at the center. Okay, so because it is a square loop, so suppose this side, because the side length is a, so this three will be in series and this will be in parallel. So suppose the resistance of one arm is R, this will also be R, this will also be R, this will also be R. Now you know that current divides in the inverse ratio of resistance. So suppose here I1 current goes and here I2 current goes. So what will be I2? I2 will be 3R upon 3R plus 4R, sorry, 3R plus R multiplied by the total current, that is 3I by 4, and I1 will be R upon 3R plus R multiplied by I, and that will be equal to I by 4. Okay, now due to I2, the magnetic field will be, due to I2 the magnetic field will be how much? So because this is the center, this distance will be a by 2, and in a square this angle is 90 degree. That means this angle will be 45 degree and this angle will also be 45 degree, right? So B will be equal to mu naught, B will be equal to mu naught I upon 4 pi R multiplied by sine 45 plus sine 45. So that is equal to mu naught I upon 2 pi A into 1 by root 2 plus 1 by root 2, that is 2 by root 2, and that is equal to mu naught I upon root 2 pi A. And if you look at the direction, then you can use your thumb. So you can see that the direction will be, if you place your thumb along the current, the fingers curl out of the plane at the point O. The fingers curl out of the plane at the point O, that is out. Okay. Now due to I1, you will see that there are three current carrying wires. Okay, and all of them are at same distance. And if you see carefully, then look at this one. If you place your thumb along the current, you will see that it is curling inward, the fingers are curling inwards. Similarly, for all the three, you will see that it is curling inwards. So due to I1, magnetic field will be equal to 3 multiplied by this is I1, sorry, I2. So due to I1, it will be 3 into why? Because this will give same field. 3 into mu naught I1 upon 4 pi A by 2 into again same sine 45 plus sine 45. So from this you will get 3 mu naught I1 upon 2 pi A into 2 by root 2. So that is 3 mu naught I1 upon root 2 pi A. But this time it is inside the plane. So what will be the net field? So the net field will be 3 mu naught I1 upon root 2 pi a minus mu naught I2 upon root 2 pi a. But I1 is I by 4, so you will write 3 mu naught I upon 4 root 2 pi a minus mu naught I2 is 3I by 4, so 3I by 4 root 2 pi a. You will see that they will cancel each other and the resultant magnetic field at the center will be 0. Okay. Now we will generalize this concept. We will generalize this concept. Suppose you have any regular figure. Now this regular figure can be a regular polygon. This regular figure can be a circle or ring. Okay. So first I will draw the ring. So first I will draw the ring here. So this is the ring, and suppose you have applied a battery at, suppose, between these 2 points. Name these points A and B. Okay, and this is suppose subtending at an angle theta at the center. So if this current I goes here, then suppose here I1 will go and here I2 will go. The magnetic field at the center is still 0, whatever be theta. Similarly, if you draw any regular polygon, suppose this is a hexagon. Suppose you connect a battery between these two edges, the magnetic field at the center is still 0. The magnetic field at the center is still 0. So this is suppose I1, this is I2. You can calculate I1 and I2 because it is a symmetric figure. Okay, in fact, suppose you have connected it like this. This is I and this is I. You have connected the battery across these 2 points. Still you will say that the magnetic field at the center is 0. You will have to remember this for any regular figure where there is uniform resistance, means resistance per unit length of each wire is same, or the resistance of each side is same. In that case, the magnetic field at the center will always come out to be 0. So even if you connect it from here, then also you will say that the magnetic field at the center is 0. Okay, not only hexagon, for any regular figure, let us take a pentagon, and suppose you have this, and this is the center of the pentagon. Still you will say that the magnetic field is 0 at the center. You can take any regular figure from here. This thing is true for all the regular figures. Regular figure means not just figure, it means the resistance has to be same. Okay, so this is a generalized concept that you have to remember, that the magnetic field at the center for any regular figure when the resistance per unit length is uniform is 0. We have derived it for a square loop, but it is true for any other regular figure. It is not true for a rectangle. It is true only for a square or any regular polygon. Okay, so now we will take some more problems of straight current carrying wire. So let us assume that you have a cylinder. So you have a cylinder cross section, means you have a half cylinder. Let us assume that you have a half cylinder. Okay, so so this is a half cylinder. Okay, so this is a half cylinder, right? Now if you see the top view, now the current is flowing in this direction. So this is the top view. From the top view, what will you see? From the top view, what will you see? From the top view, you will see only a
half ring,
right? And the current will be inside the plane at every point. So the suppose I'm rubbing this. Suppose the current is inside the plane. Okay, so this is current is inside the plane. Okay, so current is inside the plane at every point. Okay, and this is an infinite hollow cylinder. So these elements are what? Infinite straight current carrying wires. These elements are infinite straight current carrying wires.
Yes, sir.
Now we need to find the magnetic field at the center. Find the magnetic field at point O. Find the magnetic field at point O. Okay, so this is the center. Let at any angle theta, take an element of width d theta. Okay, so this length is r d theta. Now see, current is along this line. This is hollow. Current is along the surface. So you will see that pi r is the radius. Pi r length has I current. So the unit length has I upon pi r current. Then r d theta length will have I by pi r multiplied by r d theta. R cancel. You will get
I d theta by pi.
so you will get di. The current in this element is I d theta upon pi. Okay. Now once you have got the current in this element, what will be the magnetic field due to this element? So what will be the magnetic field? dB is equal to mu naught di upon 2
Yeah.
pi r, right?
हाँ.
And because the current is inside, so point your thumb along the current. You will see that the fingers curl in such a way that this will be the direction of magnetic field dB, right?
हाँ. हाँ sir.
So mu naught I upon
Yes,
2
sir.
pi r, mu naught di. Okay, the distance between them is r. So this is equal to mu naught I d theta by 2 pi square r. Now, if you take one symmetric element here, what will you see? This is a symmetric element. Once you take this symmetric element, what are you seeing? You are seeing that the magnetic field due to this element is the magnetic field. Point your thumb along the current and the fingers curled in this way. So fingers curled in this way, the magnetic field will be in this direction, right? From this you are seeing that this component and this component is going to cancel out. This component and this component is going to cancel out, right? So if these two
Cancel.
components are going to cancel out, then this angle is theta, this is 90. See, this angle is theta, this angle is 90. So this angle has to be 90 minus theta,
90 minus. Yes sir.
right?
हाँ sir.
sir.
Theta 90,
हाँ sir.
90 minus theta, right? So that means B has to be integration of dB cos 90 minus theta. You need only this component from any element. Understood? So that is equal to dB
हाँ sir.
sin theta. And that is equal to mu naught I d theta upon 2
Sin
pi
theta.
square r sin theta.
Sin theta.
And if you see that what is the integration limit, so you are integrating, this is the first element and this is the last element, you will be integrating from 0 to pi.
0 से pi.
So you will get the magnetic field due to this this semi cylinder at the center on the axis is equal to mu naught I upon 2 pi square r is a constant. Integration sin theta from sin theta d theta from 0 to pi is 2. I have told you area
2.
under the curve. Area under the curve from 0, this is y equal to sin x.
हाँ.
The area from pi 0 to pi by 2 is 1 and 0 to pi is 2. Right?
Sir.
हाँ sir.
So the magnetic field comes out to be mu naught I upon pi square r. Okay?
हाँ sir. हाँ sir.
So now
Yes, sir.
let us take one more problem. So now you have a triangle. Suppose this is an equilateral triangle. Okay?
Triangle.
And this is the current, all are in series. I is the current. Then find the A is the side of the triangle. Okay? Then the question is find the magnetic field at the centroid. So you know that in an equilateral triangle, centroid, circumcenter, incenter, everything is same.
Same.
So that means this angle is 30.
हाँ
बोलो.
हाँ सर हाँ सर
Okay, and this is a by 2.
हाँ सर
Suppose this is x. So you can say tan 30 is x upon a by 2,
हाँ
which implies x is how much? A by 2
8 and
root 3.
30 2
Understood?
Yes,
हाँ
sir.
सर
Okay, now the magnetic field due to one this wire, how much? So see, if this is 30, this is 90, this has to be 60. And similarly by symmetry, this also has to be 60.
हाँ
So magnetic field due to first wire will be equal to mu naught I upon 2 pi x, sorry 4 pi x, mu naught I upon 4 pi
4
x into sine 60 plus sine 60.
60
So that will be equal to mu naught I upon 4 pi a upon 2 root 3 multiplied by root 3 by 2 plus root 3 by 2, that is root 3.
root 3 root 3
So what you will get? The magnetic field due to first wire,
by 2 pi a 3 mu naught I
3
by
mu
2
naught
pi a
I by 2 pi a.
Pi.
So this is the magnetic field due to the first wire. Now what is the direction? Again point your thumb along the current. The direction of the curl of the finger, that is inside the plane. So this is inside the plane. Now if you look at the remaining two wires, you will see that they will give you the same value. So B resultant will be 3 times of this. Okay, so that will be equal to 9 mu naught I upon 2 pi.
9.
यहाँ पे 0 नहीं होगा, यहाँ पे current is not getting divided. यहाँ पे there is no division of current.
हाँ तो फिर कनेक्शन
Yes,
कर
sir.
कैसे रहा है
हाँ, there is the battery here.
ओ अच्छा वैसे
Okay.
So divide करने से
हाँ,
0 ना.
हाँ.
हाँ सर
Okay.
हाँ सर
Yes, sir.
हाँ सर
Okay. Then now we will discuss magnetic field due to a solenoid. Magnetic field due to a solenoid. So suppose you have one cylinder. Okay, so you have one cylinder, and over this cylinder you have wrapped a coil
कोई
okay, and then you remove this cylinder. So take a cylinder, wound a wire round the cylinder, tightly means there is no gap. Then remove the cylinder. The figure that you get is called a
solenoid
the figure that you get is called a solenoid. Okay, so this is a solenoid. Okay,
हाँ सर
okay, now we need to find the magnetic field on the axis of the solenoid. Find the magnetic field at any point on the axis of the solenoid. Okay, so first let us draw a solenoid. So this is a solenoid. Okay, I'm not you assume that the means wire is wrapped around it. Okay, and this is the axis of the solenoid. This is the axis of the solenoid. Suppose P is the point where you want to find the magnetic field. Suppose this P makes an angle θ1 with this and θ2 with this. Let the radius be R and the length of the solenoid be L. Okay. Also, let capital N be the number of turns. Let capital N be the number of turns of the solenoid, and small n be the number of turns per unit length. Per unit length. Then small n is basically capital N by L. Okay. So now see, from this point P at a distance x, let us take a elemental ring. Let us take an elemental ring of width dx. Let us take an elemental ring of width dx. So this is the elemental. This is the elemental ring, right? Now the number of turns in this element, will be how much? Small n dx. Any doubt?
No.
L length में n turns है, capital N turns है. Means the number of turns per unit length is n by L. So the number of turns in dx length will be n by L into dx. That is small n into dx.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the number of turns in this element is small n dx. So the magnetic field due to this ring is mu naught ni capital R square upon capital R square, means here small r, because small r is the radius that we have taken, upon r square plus x square whole की power 3 by 2. Right? And you know that the magnetic field due to all the elements will be in the same direction. So you will get B is equal to integration dB, and that is equal to integration mu naught n dx
सर एक 2 भी होगा ना
I r square upon 2 r square plus x square whole की power 3 by 2. Integrated from you can see integrated from minus. So
L,
suppose this distance is L1 and this distance is L2.
L minus
So you can say minus L1 to
L2.
right. So you will
Huh,
say
sir.
that B is
Sir.
equal to mu naught Ni small r square by 2. All these are constants. Integrate it from dx. Integrate of dx upon r square plus x square whole की power
3/2
3 by 2 from minus L1 to
L2.
L2. So from this you will get, I will directly write the final answer. अभी integration पढ़ा नहीं है, so you will not be able to do this integration. So I'll write the final answer mu naught Ni by 2 into sine theta 1 plus sine theta 2. So this is the formula for magnetic field at any point on the axis. This is only on the axis, right? This is only on the axis.
X.
X.
Okay. So now if you want to find the magnetic field at the center, if you want to find the magnetic field, if you want to find the magnetic field at the center, then what will you say? B is equal to mu naught Ni by 2 into sine theta plus sine theta, that is
2
2
sine.
sine theta, that is equal to mu naught Ni sine theta. Okay, magnetic field at the ends. Find the magnetic field at the ends. Then you will say that theta 1 is 0, theta 1 is 0 and theta 2 is theta. Okay, theta, so magnetic field will be mu naught Ni by 2 into sine theta 1 0 plus sine theta. So you can see that the
x by L by वैसे कर सकते हैं.
हाँ sine theta को you will write sine theta 1 is
L by
see from
R
here
by L.
L1 by under root r square plus L1 square. वो यूज करके ये फाइनल आंसर आया है. Where sine theta 1 is L1 by under root r square plus L1 square and sine theta 2 is L2 by under root r square plus L2 square. Now sometimes they give you angle from here. In that case, first if this is 30, this will be 60. So you will have to calculate angle from here. Otherwise, what you can do is you can write this as cos theta 1 plus cos theta 2. Understood? If this is theta 1, this is theta 2, then in this formula you can write cos theta 1 plus cos theta 2. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then now we will discuss ideal solenoid. So I will discuss it the next page. So what is an ideal solenoid? In an ideal solenoid, the radius is very, very small compared to length. Okay, the radius is very, very small compared to length. So in that case, we will assume that theta 1 is nearly equal to theta 2 is nearly equal to 90 degree at all points. At all points on the axis, except at the ends. Why? Because end पहुंच गया, then if you have reached the end, then obviously this angle cannot be 90 degree. In fact, that will be 0 degree, right?
Yes, sir.
0.
Okay. So listen to me very carefully. In that case, the magnetic field due to an ideal solenoid becomes mu naught Ni by 2 into 1 plus 1 sin 90 plus sin 90, that is mu naught Ni. Understood? But magnetic field at the end of an ideal solenoid, magnetic field at the end of an ideal solenoid is how much? Mu naught Ni by 2 into 0 plus 1.
0,
That is mu naught
Mu
Ni
naught
by 2. That
Ni
is
by
half
2.
of inside field. Understood?
Yes, sir.
That means you can say that. That means you can say that number of field lines, because you know that field can be represented in terms of field lines, and the density of field lines give you the strength of the magnetic field. You have also studied that in electrostatics. So the number of field lines, the number of field lines inside a solenoid, inside an ideal solenoid, is double the field lines at the ends. Okay, and see, if you see this is a basically this comes out to be a constant for a given current. Okay, so now what you will say is, so now let us draw an ideal solenoid. So this is an ideal solenoid. Okay, we will assume that this is so thin, that all points inside the solenoid as can be assumed to be axis points. So for ideal solenoid, all points inside the solenoid can be assumed to be axis points,
axis points.
axis or axial points. So that means B inside an ideal solenoid. So therefore B inside an ideal solenoid, is what?
Constant.
Okay. So now we will draw the graph of an ideal solenoid and a non-ideal solenoid. So first we are discussing ideal solenoid. So let us draw the graph of ideal solenoid. Suppose this is the center. And this is the magnetic field. So for an ideal solenoid, the magnetic field is almost what?
Constant.
Almost constant, and is equal to how much? Mu naught Ni. But as soon as the end approaches, so at the end it becomes, this is end. It becomes half. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And if you draw the field lines, of an ideal solenoid, then you know that if all are axis points, the axis में तो ऐसा होता है. Suppose this is the current, the field lines will be in this direction. So you will say that in an ideal solenoid, B outside is 0. Why? Because it will not curl, because all are axis points. B outside is 0. Okay. But if you draw the real solenoid, in the real solenoid, so this is the real solenoid. For the real solenoid, axis points तो ऐसा ही होगा, but other points पे it will form a closed loop. So B outside is not 0. Okay, in fact This is similar to
Magnet.
bar magnet, and is also similar to current circular loop, because a solenoid is what? Collection of circular loops only. Okay, if you draw the graph of this real solenoid, draw the graph of the real solenoid, this time at the center the field is maximum, but it will continuously keep on decreasing. Okay, it will continuously keep on decreasing, and this we have drawn only for the axis. Other points so we cannot calculate. Okay, understood? Okay, now you know that in a bar magnet, at least everybody knows this, that field lines will originate from the north pole and terminate at the south pole. This is just like positive charge. This is just like positive charge, and this is just like negative charge. The only difference is here there will be a closed loop. So inside the solenoid or the bar magnet, the field is from south to north. Outside it is away from north and towards south, and inside it is from south towards north. Okay, so you can say that this is a north pole and this behaves like a north pole and this behaves like a south pole. Why? Because field lines are different.
Circular close.
So this behaves like a north pole and this behaves like a south pole.
South pole.
Okay, so suppose, now listen to me carefully. So suppose you have two solenoids or two rings. You have two rings. Dotted means inside. So suppose this is one ring and this is the other ring, and suppose these are the currents. So now you tell me the force between these two will be attractive or repulsive. Force will be attractive or repulsive.
Attractive.
So you can see that if this has to be north, why? Because when you curl your fingers, the thumb is pointing towards left. So this has to be the north pole, this has to be the south pole. Similarly, this has to be the north pole, this has to be the south pole. So if the currents are in same direction, then they attract. Why? Because south will attract with north.
Yes.
Understood? Similarly,
Yes, sir.
if this is the case, in this case, what you will say? They will repel. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
then.
sir.
Yes.
Sir, in the ideal solenoid, there the field lines will not come out from the.
No, the field lines in the ideal solenoid, the field lines will come out, but it will not bend. Everything behaves like the axis point. Okay, but that is actually not possible. But for calculation purpose, we will take the solenoid to be ideal. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yes. Then now we have discussed the solenoid, and now we will discuss one very, very important law, and that is called Ampere's law. Ampere's law. Okay. So what is Ampere's law? Before starting Ampere's law, let us revise Gauss law. Okay, so before starting Ampere's law, let us revise Gauss law. So if you remember, in Gauss law, we took a Gaussian surface. So any Gaussian surface, so this is a Gaussian surface. This is a Gaussian surface, and inside, you know, there are charges q1, q2, q3, and suppose this is a outer charge q4 and q5. So if you remember the closed integral of E dot ds, where ds is, this is called surface integral. This integral is called surface integral over a closed surface. Yes, this is called surface integral, is equal to q enclosed
by
upon epsilon naught. And this is also called the electric flux inside the closed surface.
closed surface.
And if you remember, then we have discussed each and every point here. What is this E? E is
Field.
What?
Electric field. The charges.
Electric field at any point on the Gaussian surface, on, not inside, not outside.
On the bus.
On the surface.
E is electric field at any point on the Gaussian surface. And the second thing is, this E is due to both
Inside and outside charges.
inside and outside charges. Although flux is only due to,
Inside charge.
although flux is only due to inside charges. You know that outside charge से जो field जितना flux अंदर घुसता है उतना ही flux बाहर निकलता है. Incoming flux is negative, outgoing flux is positive, right? Okay, field तो रहता है लेकिन but flux नहीं रहता. Okay, so this was the first point, this was the second point regarding electric field. Now regarding surface, the Gaussian surface. Surface can be of any shape and
Side.
size.
Nice.
Just it has to be closed. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then about the enclosed charge. What about the enclosed charge? The enclosed charge can be
Anyway.
at any point inside the
Surface.
inside the Gaussian surface. Right? So you have discussed this is closed integral E dot ds means integration over a closed surface. This ds is surface area of an element. Integration E dot ds is total surface flux through total surface area. Q enclosed the enclosed charge. Okay, so this was the statement of Gauss law. And you know that Gauss law can be used to find electric field only in cases of symmetry. Although it is valid in all situations, but it is difficult to separate this E from this integral. Gauss law can be used to find electric field only in cases of symmetry, although it is what? True for all conditions.
All cases.
Now, how to find symmetry? How to find symmetry? First thing is the magnitude of electric field at all points on the Gaussian surface has to be same. At all points on the Gaussian surface has to be same.
Same.
The second point is the electric field and the area vector at all points must be in same direction. To remove the dot product, so what will happen is, if dot product is removed and E is constant, then E will come out of the integration and it will become E closed integral ds will give you the total surface area.
Total surface.
Okay. And the third thing is, you know that the electric field direction has to be known beforehand. Otherwise, how will you ensure these first 2 points? Electric field direction has to be known of the system has to be known beforehand. Otherwise you will not be able to accomplish the first 2 points. Okay. So once these conditions are satisfied, you will then say that E into surface area surface area means of the Gaussian surface, into surface area of the Gaussian surface represented by A is equal to Q enclosed by epsilon naught. So you get E is equal to Q enclosed upon surface area multiplied by epsilon naught. आया समझ में?
हाँ सर.
Okay, then so now we will again come to Ampere's law, which we were about to discuss. So yes, what is Ampere's law? See, what is Ampere's law? Now, in Ampere's law, it is like this: closed integral B dot dl. This is not a surface integral, this is a line integral. Means line integral means integration over a loop, not surface. Integration over a loop is equal to mu naught into I enclosed. Okay, yes, there is a condition here, provided this condition अभी समझ में नहीं आएगा, थोड़ा बाद में समझ में आएगा, इसीलिए उसको अभी चाहिए भी नहीं. Provided electric field in space is not varying with time. If electric field varies with time, then apart from this enclosed current, there will also be one more current called displacement current. That is a different thing. We will study in electromagnetic waves. Provided electric field in space is not varying with time. So we will assume that in this chapter, we will assume that electric field is not varying with time. So now again, what does this B represent? What does this B represent? Same है पूरा, बताओ. What does this B represent? B represent magnetic field at any point on the empirical loop. Magnetic field at any point
on the empirical loop.
On the empirical loop. Okay, not inside, not outside. Underline. The second thing is magnetic field is due to both inside and outside current.
And outside current.
Okay, then we have to discuss about the line integral. Third is empirical loop. Can be of any shape and size, but it has to be closed,
Close.
not the surface closed, only the line closed, two-dimensional closed. Okay, then what will you say about the enclosed current? What will you say about the enclosed current? The enclosed current can be anywhere inside the
Loop.
Loop.
can be anywhere inside the empirical
Loop.
Loop.
inside the empirical loop. Okay, so it can be anywhere inside the empirical loop. Okay, then what else? So here now listen to me carefully, because this is a line integral, and what is the direction of this dl vector that we have to see. Okay, in that case there was ds vector. We knew that the ds vector is along the normal, but here now what is this dl vector? Now what is this
Length.
dl vector? So suppose, for to explain this, let us take one example. So suppose you have four currents, I1, I2, I3, I4. And in charge it was relatively simple, because you know that what is negative, what is positive. It is given. But here you will have to see what is negative current and what is positive current. Okay, so suppose this is the empirical loop. Suppose this is the empirical loop, right? So if this is the empirical loop, then see you can let us make this backside line as a dotted line. So here listen carefully. So this side is the back side and this side is the front side. Now dl vector is a vector along the it is a vector along the it is a small element vector. It is a small element vector so dl is a small element vector along the loop. But the problem is, you know that in any loop there can be two directions. So along the loop, this is also along the loop, this is also along the loop, right? This is also
Yes,
along the
yes.
loop, and this is also along the loop. Which to take? Okay, in general there is no such rule which you have to take. You can take any direction of dl, but then this direction of dl will decide the positive and negative current. The direction of dl will decide positive and negative current. Now suppose you have taken this direction. Okay, so for the direction that we have taken, Listen carefully now. Curl your fingers. Curl your fingers. Curl your fingers along the loop. Curl your fingers along the loop. The direction of the thumb gives the direction of positive current. Direction of thumb gives direction of positive current. So according to the direction of loop that you have taken, I1 will be positive, I3 will be positive, and I2 will be negative.
Negative.
Understood? So here
Yes, sir.
I1 and
sir.
I3 are positive and I2 is negative. So again I will repeat. So curl your fingers along the, because the dotted line is behind, so you'll curl it from forward, from forward direction it is towards right, in the forward direction it is towards right, and if you curl it from towards the back side, you'll see that the thumb is pointing upwards. That means the upward direction is the positive current and the downward direction is the negative current. So if you apply Ampere's law here, then you will write closed integral B dot dl is equal to mu naught I1 plus I3 minus I2. I4 is an outside current. Outside current you don't have to write. Okay. So this is how
Okay.
we apply Ampere's law in magnetic field. Okay. Again, in this case also, Ampere's law is valid under all situations. Is valid under all situations. Yes, except field has to be uniform. Means sorry, field electric field has to be should be constant with time. It can vary with space, but it should not vary with time. When electric field varies with time, you will study a modified form of Ampere's law. That we will study in electromagnetic chapter. So Ampere's law is valid under all situations, but it can be used. To find magnetic field only in cases of what?
Symmetry.
Okay.
Huh.
So now
Okay.
again, if there is a symmetry, so what are the things that you should know? The direction of magnetic field should be known beforehand. The direction of magnetic field should be known beforehand. The second point is the direction of magnetic field and the direction of dl vector has to be same at all points. Why? Because to remove the dot product. And the third is the magnetic field magnitude at all points on the loop has to be same, so that we can come out of the integration. So in that case, you will say that B multiplied by the length of the loop. B multiplied by the length of the loop is equal to mu naught I, which implies magnetic field is equal to mu naught I divided by the length of the loop. Understood? Hello students, if you like my work, do hit the like button and share my work with your friends. Also, please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon. You'll be notified when I upload my next video.